Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back over in the UK. Oh, it's early. Over back in the UK with another season of Red Zone in the UK with my boy Scouse and my boy Christian. We are back. And today we're going to pregame the Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, it's Tampa Bay. It's South Florida. You're going to get some sunshine. You're going to get some rain. It's going to be pretty cloudy down there. You're supposed to get thunderstorms around 3 o'clock. But down in Tampa really don't last that long. So let's hope for it. Let's hope for the rain just stays away before the game so we have a clean game, dry field. That's what I would love. So on the other side of this, we're going to pregame the Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yo, what up? So now, since we moved the time from 5:30 to 7, I greatly appreciate you guys to change that here over here in the Eastern time. I definitely appreciate 7. It works out so much better. It's not just good morning; it's good afternoon also over in the UK. So, good afternoon, Scouts. How are you? You ready for another season of Commanders football?
Oh, I'm ready. I couldn't sleep last night. Oh, I'm drinking Red Bull this afternoon just to keep myself awake, man, because I didn't have any sleep last night. I cannot wait for today, mate. Cannot wait for today. How have you been, man? I spoke for a while.
Yeah, been good, man. Hanging tight, ready for this season. Scouse, what's going on, man? It's time to start putting out those weekly writings, the weekly blogs, because football is back.
Christian.
Hey, he's calling me Scouse, but
Hello,
yeah. As a Liverpool fan,
still too early.
Too early.
As a Liverpool fan, that works. Yeah, I'm well, Deuce. During the off season, we've kept the blog going. So speaking to opposition fans, getting predictions up, etc. It's been great. So I've been listening to a lot of Andy's 1 Point Safety Show, which is fantastic. And I know you are. And Deuce, I know you're kind of like the leader, keeping us fans together, and podcasters, bloggers. So thank you for inviting me back. Appreciate it.
Most definitely. Before we get into this, the show scripts, coming right back to you, Christian. How would you grade this offseason? All the way back to the firing of that other guy, all the way up to this morning. How would you grade the offseason?
Solid. You could argue it's been a while since Washington made that kind of splashy kind of free agent signing. Would that have been the icing on the cake? But I think they've got a process and they're going to stick to it. They've got a plan and they're going to stick to it. A grade B, proof of being the pudding, but it was solid. I think we look like a destination again for some decent free agents, which has obviously been a struggle under the previous ownership. So a few surprises along the way, but not many. Maybe Dotson going was a bit of a surprise, but I don't think he got one pass for the Eagles on his debut. So I'd give it a solid B.
I don't know if we're gonna get anything higher than a C from Scouse because Wiley is still on the team. So Scouse, how do you look at this whole process from Dan, from all the way back from the other guy being fired, all the hiring and all this other good stuff, all the way up to now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very impressed, to be honest. Don't forget, I know Peters has had loads of experience, but this is his very first time of being the main head shot caller, So I think he's done really, really well. Of course, this team was, it's been really bad for such a long time, realistically. So there's so many holes in this team that you couldn't fix it all in one off season. You just couldn't do it, Would I have liked the splash one splash signing? Yeah, I would have liked that. I mean, if you've listened to any of my previous shows, I was holding on Brandon Ayuk, bring him across, but obviously he signed this new deal, so fair enough. But in general, I think he's doing really, really well. I'd probably give him I'll give him a solid B plus. Actually, the only thing that knocks him down, if Wiley was gone, I think I would be kind of an A plus. You know what I mean? You know, I really would, because turnstile Wiley is just not good, man. Like, he is a turnstile. He's just gonna get like smoked all game. I can't stand the guy. It's so bad, man. I think I could play better, actually, to be fair.
All right, let's get into these teams. We know these two teams have history together. They have some iconic games over the years, or these last few decades. So, Christian, run down the history of this matchup for us.
Yeah, sure. It's the first time actually that Tampa Bay have met Washington. Now with the Commanders.
Well, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, got all-time record is positive for Washington, 13-12 in favor of the Burgundy and Gold. One of the first kind of matchups I looked at in terms of like history, a memorable one. 20 years ago, the return of Joe Gibbs, which was actually, again, Washington wins 16-10. I tend to look back at the wins, by the way. But actually, that featured a debut for some real greats. Sean Taylor made his debut against Tampa Bay back in 2004. Chris Cooley also played that game as well. So that's like the one to look back in 2004 under Gibbs. And obviously you've got famous games. I think last time we looked at the Heineke
of course,
playoff game where we came so near. But also remember the Kirk Cousins comeback 2015, 24 zip down time. And Kirk's made a lot of money since then, hasn't he? Yeah. There's a fella who likes that, So he's made significant dollars in the National Football.
He didn't like that Achilles, though, did he? Do you know what I mean? He didn't like that.
No. And we didn't like Bruce Allen or trying to sort out a contract, did we? So, but he was, man. The path to glory can be a sort of, it's not always just a clean one, is it? Last time we played them, really good game for Heineke and against Tom Brady as well.
Yeah.
Regular season 2021, 29-19 win for the Commanders. But then, actually, I think probably would have been the Washington football team.
Yep, Cheddar Bob is up early with us. What's up, Cheddar Bob? Appreciate you stopping by. Oi, Scott is in the building. What's good? Yes, can't wait for later today, man. Man, it's tough waiting all this long and then gotta wait even longer. And for you guys, it's even longer, right? Because what time of the game starts over that way?
9:25 p.m.
9:25
Yeah.
Slim, what's good? I'm hyped too, man. Big up to the panel. Big up to the panel for sure. But yes, the Taylor Heineke pylon game set him off, right? From his couch to millions of dollars and being one of the, I guess, best backups in the league, for which he was just traded from Atlanta a couple weeks ago. All right, we got some key matchups today to victory. We're going to go to Scouse. Give us some key matchups today, Scouse.
I think one of the biggest matchups that might not be spoke about too much in other pods would be the Vita Vea against Tyler Biadish. I think that's a really, really good matchup there. Vea is an absolute beast, and he's great against the run. And Tampa are notoriously good against the run. And if Biadish can just give us just some slight push, it'll allow B-Rob and Eckler to start moving this ball, moving the chains. I think it's such a huge one that I think genuinely whoever wins that battle, it's going to make a massive, massive difference to the team, to the outcome of the match. I really do. I just hope that Biadish can be solid. As I say, we've only seen him in bits in pre-season. We don't know what that's really about, but we know what Vita Vea is about. And it's going to be a big test for him, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. And I also think let me look, because I believe Elijah Cansey is out. It came out yesterday due to a calf injury. So that's kind of a plus for us. And look, that's the strongest part of this defense. I mean, of the offensive line is the interior. How strong? I guess we'll find out, right? Because it's not like the edges are so great, right? Because we don't even know if Dan says going to be Coleman is going to play, whatever that means. So I guess it's going to be Lucas and Coleman. I never liked that because you just cannot get into into a rhythm.
Yeah, this is the thing with Coleman. We don't know what he's about.
I was going to say, that's true, Scott. I think. Do you think because he didn't play any of the preseason snaps, that's why he may come in a few times? I mean, you don't want to take out your quarterback or your offensive line at any point, do you? Unless you have to. But maybe just because Coleman didn't have any snaps preseason, they might want him in there a few times.
Yeah, I get the idea of trying to bring him back in slowly because he probably still is nursing some sort of injury still. His pec and shoulder, I think it was. That's the reason why he hadn't played at all. But the thing is, this guy's a rookie, and let's face it, even though we had very nice reports about him through training camp before he got hurt, the thing is that he's taking on mid-level pass rushers. We don't have any high-quality edge rushers. We just don't. So we don't know how good he really is. Is he just good against average, or is he actually the man? You know what I mean? And that's the difference. And, it'll be interesting to see how he does play, if he does play. And as I say, how many snaps he'll get in a row. And it doesn't help continuity because he's not played across the line. So it doesn't help with Allegretti being left guard. It can be, it's all over the place. And to be honest, I have not been impressed with Allegretti at all in preseason. So I'm a bit concerned about that too. So, Biada's just got to be on his game, man. Him and Cosme have got to be on the game because, they're going to be helping out these guys a lot because, this O-line's not, I don't think it's good at all, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
Jim Life, glad we can be of assistance to help you get through that cardio this morning. Ash is good. Ash, good morning. And Ash is in. Ash, where are you, Ash? I want to say Italy, but
is he? Italy?
In India. India. I think it's India. Let me know, Ash. Correct me. Ash has kind of joined us over the last few months. Came from the kickball community.
Mumbai.
And, so he's decided to be a Commanders fan. So Mumbai, there you go. Yep, Mumbai. Yep. Welcome, Ash. Let's go to Christian. Give us how can we beat this team? Give us some keys to victory.
I think there's maybe some weaknesses with Tampa, and what I kind of zoned in a little bit is we've not had great coaching, have we, in Washington for a little while? And again, I think the coaching is going to be better. I think their ability to make adjustments is going to be better as well. And I kind of focused in a little bit on the new Tampa Bay offensive coach, Liam Cohen. He's had one stint as an out-and-out coach in the NFL. Okay, and that was with the Rams. 5-12 was the record in Rams. I'm just wondering if Tampa might be feeling the effects of losing. Is it Dave Canales? Yep. Gone to the Panthers as head coach. So when I first was thinking about coming into the podcast this afternoon, we always think about, can we contain Mike Evans? Mike Evans has so often he's destroyed Washington. I think he's the only player in NFL history, 1,000 receiving yards in 10 consecutive seasons since starting as a rookie, But I do wonder if, even with great receivers, can there be a drop-off if there's not a great offensive mind in Tampa? So I thought that experience of Dan Quinn could go some way. And obviously, look, it's an in at the deep end first game for Daniels. The general sort of impression of him is high intelligence, doesn't turn over the ball. Is the O-line of Daniels going to pick up that sort of Todd Bowles blitz, which we all know about? So sometimes I think Scouse is completely right about the O-line, by the way. But I think if you have got the quarterback, if we've eventually landed on the quarterback, that can make any O-line a lot better. So I think I'm obviously so much spotlight on Daniels. I think if we can sort of pick up that blitz, get it out. And I also spoke to, just for the blog, one of the Tampa Bay fan base sort of blogs. And they do say that, in that backfield, there is a bit of a weakness against the deep ball as well. I don't think Daniels would be sort of too worried about throwing out some 50-50s for Terry, even Diami Brown. So I only think they're really set at safety. Tampa Bay, Antoine Winfield is obviously a high caliber NFL safety. So I think, are Tampa Bay a little bit ahead of Washington? Yes, but I do think there are some weaknesses to exploit.
Most definitely. Kazo, what's good, man? Top of the morning to you. Garage said I watched the Yami's documentary. I haven't watched that yet. How long is that documentary? Showing what he's doing to get better. It was cool, but I would have been happier if the subject was Wiley instead of the Yami. Ross, he always supports the Commanders community, Kansas Chiefs fans. What's good? Ross, fan says fans have to respect defense, man. Ravens lost because of 2-3 amateur mistakes. Scouts, to kind of stick with the keys to victory. For me, the one thing that keeps pointing out is, can we get a pass rush? We haven't seen this defense in full. Bobby Wagner hasn't been there, and I'm not even sure if he did joint practices. Right? I mean, he may have, but it probably wasn't a lot. Of course, we wasn't able to see. I don't remember hearing anything from the beat reporters about him. But I mean, Furr, I think he played a couple snaps. I don't think Fowler played at all. Payne and Duran, I mean, they did joint practices. From what I heard from different joint practices from the Dolphins and the Jets, he looked really, really good. I mean, it seemed like he lost a lot of weight. So did Payne. But we haven't seen this defense in its entirety, and we have a lot of concerns on the boundary. But I think if we can get pressure, Scouts, that'll help the boundary for sure.
Oh, massively, yeah. I mean, that's our biggest, most important side of it from the defensive side is interior pressure, because that's where that's where our quality players are. Yeah. And our edge rushers, as I said before, they're only average. They're only average players, and there's nothing that's elite out there for us. So as long as those guys can actually set the edge and let Payne and Allen actually do what they do best and get in there and actually really affect the quarterback, then it'll definitely help our corners out, because let's face it, our corners are shocking. So, they really are. I mean, I've not given up on Forbes yet, but we have to see with good coaching, is he going to come good? But I'm done with Saint Ghost. He needs to go. And I call him Saint Ghost because he is a ghost. He's not there. So yeah. So that's going to be so important, especially when we do get Newton back as well. I think he's going to be a massive disruptor in the middle when he does play. I don't think he's going to play today, but when he does play, he's going to be really, really important in that rotation with Payne and Allen, because those two keep playing. Like last year, I think they played like 98% of the snaps. Now, those guys are not going to be fresh, which means that their production is actually going to go down, even though you're thinking, well, they're playing more. You should actually do more. But actually, you do less because they're not fresh. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for me, it's so important that as long as those edge guys who we do play there actually just set the edge well and let the big boys in the middle do the business, and then we've got a chance. But we'll have to see, man. So it's interesting, man. We still got so many holes.
I think as well, Scouse, just it sounds like under Kingsbury we're going to be a little bit no huddle, a little bit hurry up. If that works, that's great. If it doesn't, then the defense are going to not get too much of a rest, are they, in between? So I think that's important as well, like fitness. Sometimes, that rotation, we kept Mathis, didn't we? Ridgway's gone.
I was upset with that one. I like Ridgway.
Yeah.
I think that sort of snap count for Allen and Payne's going to be important as well. I'm still not sure that Payne is a all-down kind of defensive tackle.
Yeah, and that was one of the things last year, but Quinn loves to rotate is his defensive line. He's proven that over years being in the NFL, and that was one of the things with Allen and Payne. Their snap count was so high, but now you have you ship off Ridge Race. I get it. You're trying to get the most value that you can for a player, and they keep Mathis, which we really have not seen anything. So I wonder, how this rotation is going to happen. I think some people that we look at playing edge may play some 3 technique. We might see some 3-4 looks or some 5-2 type looks. So then we have Dorrance Armstrong. I keep forgetting about him, but again, he was a rotational player last year that did maximize his chances when he got them. So I'm very interested to see what this defense looks like. And I hope anybody else that's out there that's listening, go ahead, comment some of your keys to the game. We will definitely put it up.
Another huge one. I know Christian's already mentioned it, but Mike Evans. Mike Evans up against any of our corners is just a bad matchup for us in a big way. As I say, so that's why it's so important that we get pressure on Baker. I know you're saying about the offensive coordinator change, and that will make a difference. But in general, those two played last year together, so they're in sync. Do you know what I mean? So, so it's going to be that's a huge matchup, man. I just hope that the safety help actually, can do what it needs to do, because I think you've got a double team, Mike Evans. You really do, and hope that the other guys can win their matchups 1-on-1.
Yeah, BSJ looks the part, right?
Yeah, 3-3, good-looking dude. Yeah. No, not getting burnt toast every game, bro. Stop it.
I think you're likely right, Scouse. I think one thing we can't forget though is we had a terrible backfield coach last season. Terrible.
High school coach, wasn't
he?
He
was a high school coach.
Was it Misselmeyer?
Yeah.
High school coach he was. That's the kind of guys we had there. So.
And you got to think as well, they have not been shy to just jettison players out of Washington. But St. Deuce remains. If he was a one with ever pick, that you had that red dot on your head, didn't you? Basically, but St. Deuce is still there. Whether that's just because who else could we get? But there were a few other cornerbacks out there that we perhaps could have gone for, but maybe they still see something in him. I haven't given up, is what I'm trying to say, Scouse.
You will definitely see. So Ash was actually, I see Scouse responded, but for those that are not watching or can't see the comment section, he said, where do English guys watch the live game, online or sports channel?
It's the DAZN for me. Is that the same? It was Game Pass, and that changed last year to DAZN, DAZN. Yeah, so it's a kind of streaming service, I guess.
Yeah, it's streaming service. Yeah, because I say we do have TV channels like Sky Sports, but they just pick what the game they think is the best game of the week. So you'll have a 6 o'clock game for us, then a 9:30 game, and then the late game. They'll have all the late games for the Thursday nights, Monday nights, and the late whatever the game of the week is on the late Sunday. But most of the time we never get picked, do we? Let's face it, because we're not that good. Let's face it, we haven't been good for a long time. So Sky Sports hardly picks us unless we are prime time.
You never know. We got the number 2 pick now, so
yeah, hopefully. But at the moment we've got it's for the normal games like tonight will be the zone as well. That's what I use.
Yeah. And in a way, not being the pit game on Sky, it's sometimes the commentary is better anyway, isn't it? On DAZN, or at least in the studio. I wouldn't say the Sky Sports studio is the most entertaining.
It's true. Yeah.
It's a lot of it's very generic, isn't it?
Unfortunately.
Yam said he doesn't like your hat. It has too much black in it, Scouse.
Oh man,
we've got a black. We've got a black.
Yeah,
we've got a black hit, haven't we?
I like it better to the side, Scouse. Let me see. Put it to the side. There you go. There we go.
Vanilla rights over here.
Yes, most definitely. The UK takeover is next week, home opener. Guys, it's always a ball when they come over, and just follow them. You'll see a lot of pictures and stuff. I'll say keep it light. Pictures and stuff. Big Simple, welcome. Good morning. Yes, we are back. Shadow was good. Good morning. Yes, it is football Sunday. And definitely we appreciate everyone for watching on Twitter and watching on on Facebook. Definitely appreciate our YouTube community. But those on Twitter and on Facebook, if you check the bio, you can definitely join on YouTube. Come over there and chop it up with us in the comment section. All right. So, knockout player. This is a new segment that we're adding to Red Zone over in the UK. Knockout players, 1 or 2 players that will put up numbers against the Commanders. This is gonna be some nasty numbers, right? So, Scouse, what you got?
I've got two guys who are going to cause us some serious pain, I think. And the first one we mentioned before, Mike Evans. I think he's gonna have a huge game against us. I really do. I think he's easily going to get a 100-yard game. And I think he's going to get at least 2 touchdowns as well. I mean, so I'm going to say 130, 2 TDs. That's what I'm thinking he's going to get. So, I think he's going to have a huge game. Our corners are just not up to the challenge against someone like him. So, if you put Forbes on him, he's too lightweight. He's too thin against him. He's not tall enough against a 6'4" guy like Mike Evans. You're gonna put St. Ghost on him. Okay, yeah, he's got the size, but he hasn't got the skills. He hasn't got the skills to keep up with the dude. So it's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare matchup for us. This guy. And my second one is Rashad White. He's going to kill us. I don't think he's going to kill us like as in standard run up the middle type of thing. I think Wagner's going to have that locked down. I think it's going to be more about the kind of the outside zone plays, but also kind of the quick short passing game. I think they use him a lot in the passing game as well for the short stuff, and I think that's where he's going to kill us mostly. So again, I'm going to say he's going to get a good 85 yards receiving. And probably I'll say 1 touchdown as well. I think those guys are going to say it's going to be a high scoring game. I think, and I think those are the guys that are going to be like who's going to give us some real pain today.
For sure. I mean, we often talk about Mike Evans, right, Christian? But what about Godwin? I mean, Godwin is also.
We haven't mentioned him yet. I mean,
like we haven't even, right? Like we got Godwin, we got the rookie Jalen McMillan. Like they got Bucky Irvin, so they have players that can take it to the house. Anyone from this group that scares you?
I think it's, again, we talked about the introduction to the NFL for Jaden Daniels, but also if he's going to play, if you got Godwin up against Mike, is it Summerstill? That's another tough matchup, isn't it?
Nice matchup,
yeah. For your introduction to the NFL.
Mikey's just too good, though, mate. Mikey's too good. If Godwin goes in the slot, he's getting locked down. Simple as that. Yeah,
I was going to say that. Do you think we were talking about players who have kind of like they've kind of flown under the radar, and others which we've kind of bigged up a little before actually seeing them in the NFL? Is Mikey one of those? We've kind of preordained him as at a high level, but
he's just too smart. That's the problem with him. He's just too good. Like, I mean, honestly, man, this guy is so good. He's one of my favorite players coming out of college this year. I was like, we need to get this dude. I'm so happy we got him, and I think he's going to make a huge difference to us.
I'm having a memory loss. What round was he taken? What round was
second?
50th.
He has great college tape. I mean, the kid is smart. He can hit. He's fast. He's quick. He has that speed. He has football speed. He has football knowledge. And that's one thing that we have this year that it's been a long time. It's been a very long time since we had like speed.
Yeah. Did he play wide receiver a little? Or am I going completely loopy? He played
off his college as a receiver, then corner after a year or two, I think.
Yeah, you're so correct about speed. I mean, that's just been lacking as well, isn't it? So
and because he's a receiver, he knows exactly what the receiver's going to try and do, so he knows how to nullify it. You know what I mean? Like he's that smart. I mean, they were saying about him during practices that he just looked legit against like people like Tyreek Hill, and it's just like, mate, if you can handle yourself against someone like him, you can handle yourself against anybody in the NFL. So I can't wait to see him play, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, the good old ball coach, like Nick Saban, call him the best pound for pound player in the draft. So, and and it ain't like he play on his team. And Nick Saban, when he says something like that, people listen, and you can pretty much stamp it. All right, so we're gonna all look at some spotlight players for us. We're gonna start with Christian. Give us some spotlight players that has to perform all of us for us to get this victory. And everyone that's in the comment section, give us 1 or 2 spotlight players that can help us bring this victory home.
And you know what? I was thinking about this before the pod, and there are so many to choose from. We've had such a overhaul in Washington of the personnel. It's so obvious, but you've got to look at Jaden Daniels, haven't you? For me, I think Washington's done a very good job of not lowering expectations. That wouldn't be correct, but it's been a kind of low key. Even though he's picked at 2, you think back to RG3, and Daniels is coming in as a savior of the franchise in many ways, but he's just part of that team. He isn't a single guy who's going to take us to the holy land. So for me, Daniels, that's got to be a spotlight. Pick 2 in the NFL draft. Really excited to see him. Really excited to see if he translates that preseason form, that college form, that intelligence, into the NFL. So that's such an obvious one. My other one, I think you just mentioned earlier, but who's really flown under the radar, I actually forget he's on the roster, which is so unfair, is Armstrong, coming from the edge. He obviously played under Quinn and Witt Jr. Are we paying him around the sort of $10 million mark? It'd be interesting to see if he can, rather than be a sort of I mean, like you say, he will move around as well. But I just want to see if it's hard to replace someone like Montez Sweat, but could he be, get near to that kind of production? So he's another spotlight player for me. But there's so many. I mean, we've upgraded the linebacker core. We've got these quite exciting rookies. I'm quite interested to see if some guys have still got a bit of juice left, like Ertz and Bobby Wagner. Also interested to see Luke McCaffrey. I think if you're a sort of national media person, I think all the spotlight's going to be on Daniels. But if you're a Washington fan right now, there are so many spotlight players. Just such a turnover.
You just mention them all for us, mate. Cheers.
Yeah. Is this a little bit like my? Is this a little bit like my? A little bit like my hot take. Look, if I had to completely narrow it down, it's got to be Daniels.
Yeah.
Christian said the 53.
Just the whole lot. Yeah, just the whole team.
Football is back, baby.
Yeah. I'm excited about everybody on the roster. Tress Ray is my spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, my obviously, I'm trying to pick guys that are not the same as what we've already been talking about. But B-Wags has got to be one of them for sure. As Deuce mentioned earlier, he's not played anything, I don't think, in the preseason. But we know what you've got on him. This guy is a future Hall of Famer. You know what he's about. Even last season, you think, oh, he's getting older. You're thinking, his level's going to drop. No, last season he was still the highest tackler in the NFL last year. I think with 120 plus tackles. The guy is a tackling machine. He is great against the run, and that's what I want it. That's why I don't think White's going to kill us up the middle. I do think he'll kill us more on the edges, but I want to see what Wagner's about. I want to see, has he lost that step? Is he going to be instantly play one going to be the real Bobby Wagner, or is it going to take him time to actually get up to speed because he hasn't played any games? So that's what I want to see.
Scott says Tyler Biotish and B-Rob. I think that's right. I think, it just seems like B-Rob is going to have a really good year. It just really seems like he's going to have a really good year. And in order for him to have a really good year, we're going to have to be in games in the second half, going into the fourth quarter. So I'm definitely looking to see if he's able to do that. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Just about kind of what do you think about the Eckler B-Rob kind of partnership there? I mean, do you think it's going to be a 50-50 type of split, or is it going to be more B-Rob or more Eckler, or what do you think? Because
I reckon game by game, Scouse. I think game by game because it seems with Tampa that they've been pretty good against opponents running the ball. I wouldn't be surprised actually if you see B-Rob and Eckler in quite a receiving role today. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Rather than those kind of like rather than those just run straight up the middle. I'm not saying there won't be a little bit of that. You got to mix it up a bit, but I think it'd be game by game. You might see some games where if it's more like, and Kingsbury, he likes to sort of play action as well, doesn't he? So.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's going to be game by game, and it's going to depend on how the game is going. Like, are you fighting to get back? I think it's going to be more Eckler in the game. Are you, going, in the game, playing good, both sides of the football? You're able to stay within your game plan and not move out your game plan. I think it's going to be a lot more B-Rob because. Like, what we don't want is for the game to get out of hand and Eckler come in. That takes away the element of surprise, right? Because B-Rob can also catch out the backfield. I mean, he was if anything you want to take from last year was B-Rob as a receiving running back. So if they can stay within the game plan, don't let the game get away from them. I think the element of surprise is that when Eckler comes in, it's just not going to be a pass or a run, and while B-Rob is in there, it's just not going to be a pass or run. But if the game gets away, then Eckler, it kind of takes away that element of surprise.
I think also as well, Deuce. I mean, if you think about it, Robinson had a year off last year because it was the Bieniemy offense. He's going to have a lot left in the tank. He'll be playing till he's 40 because of that one season. So, yeah. I'm quite excited. I'm excited about those guys. Yeah. Did we kept? Is it McNichol we kept as the third running back?
Yeah, I mean Nichols, yeah.
I think I get the feeling Kingsbury again. Yeah. I think they get everyone involved as well, actually. So he could have a role today as well. Pass catching.
We've definitely upgraded the running back room. I mean,
most definitely.
I mean, we forget fantasy stuff, but just Eckler's an absolute beast. I mean, people seem to think he's finished and all that. He's not. He's nowhere near. And the thing is that the reason why I was asking about the question is because everyone's thinking, and even DQ kind of hinted at it, that he's going to be just a third down back. But I don't see that. I really don't see that because the guy is too good to leave off the field for too long like that, And I think, that's why I was saying, is it going to be a 50-50 split or you say game, is it going to be game by game basis or those type of things, just about matchups, those type of things, or is it just like he's literally going to be the third down back and that's just it? But I agree with you. I think it's going to be more that kind of game by game basis. I think that might be hard sometimes though for fantasy purposes though. For kind of you pick and B-Rob and all of a sudden it's Eckler's game. That's a good one. You know what I mean. So it might be quite difficult at times. So I leave those guys out. That's what I would do, to be honest with
you. Yeah, for sure.
I wondered as well with whether the running game today might benefit. They lost Devin White, didn't they? He's gone to the Eagles actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Eagles pick up everybody, man. Don't they? Really pick everybody up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Big Summer said JD5 in the whole defensive front creating pressure. Scott said, what's going on? He's talking in and PRM, is that how you pronounce his name? Scouse? Yeah. Definitely appreciate you for chopping in and for our UK boys bringing you over because I think it's the first time you commented on here. So definitely glad to have you.
Yeah, he's one of our usually.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jade needs to avoid hits and not turn the ball over. That's it. That is the essence of his job now.
I mean, Jaden's used to not. He's never been a turnover machine. So even in college, he's played 50 odd times. In college, very experienced. And I think his average is about 4 or 5 picks, something like that total. I think that's what he had his whole NFL, in his college career.
It's true. Some of the knocks on him, I think it gets forgotten. I mean, I think maybe in some in his early college games as well, is that he didn't take enough risks. But I think in the NFL under Kingsbury, I think his confidence is going to be really, really high for this first game. Yeah, he just doesn't look nervous, does he? He does not look like a nervous rookie.
And that's experience, I think, playing games. And yes, it's NFL. Sure, he probably will start off a bit flaky. He probably will because the nerves are going to be there, and they are going to be there. His first NFL real game when these guys are actually designed to try and take his head off. It's a little bit different, and especially when you've got Turnstile on the right side. It's kind of like, well, Yeah, at least I can see the rusher coming, you know. Hopefully make a quick decision to get that ball gone before he gets Zed knocked off. But in general, yeah, man. I mean, I think, of course, if Jaden plays well, we'll play well. It's just facts.
And it was mentioned earlier as well. I mean, getting just a little bit of a push against Vita Vey is not easy, is it? I mean,
it's not easy at all.
That's one of the big challenges, I think.
It's not easy at all. But the one thing about Jaden is that you can't just peel back, right, and just come flat out and attack, right? You have to focus on containing, right? So that helps out the tackles a little, right? Because you can't just come flying up the field like at last year and just teeing off, especially if we're keeping the game balanced. And you're not know what it's going to be. Last year they was just teeing off because you knew it was going to be like 80% that it was going to be a pass play. So I think that's going to help out a lot. And to PRM's point, yes, Radar, we are finally here. Yo, Scott, they love you out there, Scouse. They love you out there.
That's Scott, not me. That's Scott.
Oh, Scott. Oh, my bad.
He doesn't love me that much. He loves Scott more than me. You know, it is what it is. I'm not jealous.
It's funny. I saw yesterday there was you get polls on Twitter. You know, Colin Dunphy, Mofo Pod.
Yep.
And he had a poll out there. What is the quickest way to improve an offensive line? And actually, quarterback is often the quickest way to improve an O-line. You know, obviously I went for tackle, but I think I'm actually probably wrong. I think it is the quarterback.
I think the biggest thing the biggest slight on Jaden is his size. You know, can he take those 320-pound monsters smoking him when he does get hit hard? Because there's going to be times where he's going to get destroyed. You know what I mean? There's going to be a pass breakdown or whatever, or play breakdown, and he's going to get smoked. So it's kind of like, well, can he handle those hits? That's the biggest thing. Now, yes, he's not been injured in college, but it's a bit different when you're taking on college tacklers compared to NFL guys. You know what I mean? It's a different level. So it really is. So that's the only slight I've got on Jaden. That was my biggest thing against him in the draft, was like, if we get him, is our O-line good enough to protect him enough? Because, and I understand about being smart and getting the ball out quick and all that, and that's going to be part of it, sure. But in general, can he actually withhold when he can't get the ball out, or when he does get sacked, and those type things? And that's my only slight on Jaden, because he's got the skills. There's no doubt about it. He's got the skills. And the mental acuity and the kind of, the vision. You've seen it in preseason in the small amount of sample size. You can see it. But I'd say it's just that one slight. Can he withhold being hit? And that's the only thing I've got against him, really.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Well, hopefully
find out today. Imagine Vita Vey hitting him.
Yeah.
What I mean? Like, so, yeah,
Look, what's good? Yes, good morning to the good guys. We in the building. Hey, Miss Janet, happy game day to you also. All right, Christian, we're going to start with you. Give us the prediction.
It's week one, isn't it? You've got to be super positive on week one.
That's right.
Yep. I think we're going to shock the NFL. I think we're going to get a road win. Really good introduction from Daniels. I'm going 31-28 to Washington. And I think from somebody, I think there's going to be a real take it to the house spectacular play from somebody. Who that may be, I don't know.
Hopefully it's an interception return for a touchdown. That'd be great.
Forbes. Yeah, wherever it be. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That'd be real great, right?
It's interesting you say about Forbes as well. I mean, one thing that Quinn has been preaching is building a team where the guys do one or two things really, really, really well. He said that often, and I think that's with Forbes, isn't it? He's supposed to be the ball hawk. Maybe he'd be allowed to go and be the ball hawk. It might be that we give up some big plays now and then, but let's see. So yeah, 31-28 Washington. Why not?
Why not? Everyone else in the comment, throw your score predictions out there. Does Tampa have a great defense? No, it's not great, but it's really good. Plus, they have Todd Bowles, who's one of the best defensive minds in football, and he loves playing against rookies, and he's really good at it. Go ahead, Scouse. What you got?
I think I'm actually going to go with the same scoreline. As Christian there. I do think it's going to be a bit more of a shootout. And I think 31-28, I think, is is a good one for us. I mean, when was the last time we scored 30 points in a game? it was probably a long time ago, I can't remember the top of my head, but yeah, I just think, say, the quality of Daniels and that we are probably going to have to pass it a bit more than rushing, because I just don't think we're going to get a lot of push up the interior. I just don't think that's going to happen too much. So I think we're going to be passing it a lot more. But it's not all deep. It's just more cans out to the sides. But yeah, I do think, 31-28. Let's go for it.
All right, Ash got 24-21 Commanders. Yam has it 27-24 Tampa Bay. Jesse can't see what JD5 is cooking, hoping that defense gets 5 sacks and at least 3. Whoa, 5 sacks would be 3 interceptions would be like, I don't know if I could deal with 3 interceptions and a victory. Like I don't know. My homerism it will definitely take over if we get 3 interceptions. It will completely take over. I don't know. She has it 28-17. For me, I have it close. I have it close to Miss Jana's score. I have 27-19 Commanders. Again, like, I have to give a score prediction, but I don't know. Like, I haven't done a ceiling and a floor. I haven't did win-loss predictions because I don't know what this team is. Like, let me see today what it looks like when everyone is there, game plan, all that. And then next week I'll give a yearly prediction on the win-loss record. But I need to see something. I don't like I've been fooled too many times with this team these last few years. So let me see something, even though I know it can get better, it can get worse as the season goes on. But let me see something. PRM has 31-28 Commanders. Scott has it 27-24 Commanders. Mook has a 24-21 Commanders, and Miss Janet is laughing. So yeah, man, I am definitely excited to see where we're going.
See, Deuce, that's why I named the entire 53.
Yeah, right.
we just don't know, do we? So
yeah, we just don't know.
New OC, new head coach.
A lot of question marks, man. So yeah. But I think
it's exciting, though. It's exciting, isn't it? Not just it's more than just week 1 exciting. It's like genuinely exciting for the future for this franchise. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah, if you see us get hammered today, it'll be a case of okay, then yeah, we're back to seeing being shite again, and that's it. We're going to get beat every week, and back to negative fans again. Yeah, that's what it'll be. At the moment, everyone's saying we're going to win. I think there's only Yam that's saying we're not. So, yeah, man. Week 1's always that kind of high optimism, but it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
we can't be too nice to Yam. Yam didn't like the black on your hat, so
No,
he was always going to go for Tampa Bay. Sorry, Yam.
No.
Oh gosh. All right, we got to get out of here. Commander's plane is like opening Pandora's box. I'm trying to say she's been quiet, but we here now. Gotta hang in there. All right, Christian, give us how the folks can find you. Give us the the content and all those things you're working on.
Yeah, sure. It's at Christian Burt. So just my name on Twitter, and then you'll find a link to the blog, really. So I put up regular blogs. There'll probably be a pre-game blog as well going up. So yeah, find me there and follow me on Twitter.
Scouse, what you got?
Yeah, so if you want to speak to me directly, it's at ScouseAndy20. If you want to see me on our podcast, I've got another podcast called The 1 Point Safety Show, and if you can come and find us over at Twitter on at 1 Point Safety and then the number 4.
I'm saying he's tempering his expectations. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. We definitely appreciate you all waking up with us. We're gonna be here mostly every Sunday. I know next week we're going to be going live. We don't have a time set yet. We will be at the tailgate opening game. Christian will kind of give you time to see if it can fit you next Sunday, but we'll be here every other Sunday in the morning at 7 a.m. You can also catch the post-game show. Owning the Huddle podcast is going to be going tonight at 9:30, talking all things post Commanders. So, yes, we definitely appreciate your time. We know your time is very valuable for you to spend it with us. We definitely appreciate it. Remember, Do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart.